Hello class, today's lesson is thesis statements. And thesis statements are going to be really important as you develop your education, not only through high school, but also college. They will help drive your argument and then make a good argument for the rest of the paper that follows. So what is a thesis statement? Does anyone have any idea?
It's like the first sentence that goes in a paper?
Exactly, yeah. It's usually found in the introductory paragraph. I like to think of it as a roadmap for the paper. So like when you're looking at a roadmap, you see where you're going for your destination, like where your trip is. Think of that as like the paper. So it's going to be the sentence usually found in the beginning. That is your central argument for the paper, and that's going to drive the paper forward and prove your point. Does anyone know anything else about a thesis statement? Or learn anything else?
So kind of like it says on the slide, it kind of introduces your claim or the argument that you're going to be making in the rest of the paper.
Yeah, exactly. It has to make a claim or an argument. It's not just stated opinion. So if I said something like, blue is the best color ever, that's just an opinion. I'm not backing that with any evidence or any factual evidence, so that's not a thesis statement. So it has to make a claim or an argument, not just stated opinions, as I said. It should be pretty persuasive, because you want the reader to be engaged into it and say, why should I read this? Because many, even professors, teachers, are going to be looking over things and they're going to be like, like imagine being a teacher, having to grade like 30 papers. You want the teacher to be engaged into it and be like, oh, this is something interesting that I want to learn more about, even though it might not be. So, I have some examples right here about the Philadelphia Phillies, coming from Philadelphia myself. I'm a big fan. So the first one says, the Philadelphia Phillies is the greatest baseball team in history. And then the second one says, the Philadelphia Phillies is the greatest baseball team in history because of the loyal fan base the team has accumulated despite only attaining 2 World Series titles. So does anyone have any idea which one might be the thesis statement? Maddie?
Is it the first one?
It is not the first one. Do you know why?
Maybe because it doesn't give a reason why.
Exactly. So this one is an opinion. It's just saying they're the greatest baseball team in history, whereas someone else might think that, oh, but no, the Pittsburgh Pirates are the greatest baseball team in history. Whereas this one is actually proving a point that's saying they have a large fan base from only winning 2 World Series, but still the fan base is their evidence. Now, does your paper prove your thesis? This is really important too, because theses they're usually made at the beginning of the paper. But you should always, after your paper, go back and see if your point is being proven. Because a lot of times you could actually develop your argument later on in the paper and then realize that you're actually saying something different in your thesis. And you always want them to align. Does anyone know why this could be important? Go ahead, Ryan.
It could be kind of misleading if your thesis is different than what the base of your paper is.
Exactly,
and so you
yeah.
want it to kind of match up.
Exactly. Here's one more example. Homework is a waste of useful time. Homework is not always beneficial to students, as sometimes learning through hands-on experience outside of the classroom can better develop them for real life. Does anyone have a guess at which one would be the actual thesis? I'll tell you. This is just a stated opinion. Well, this one is a thesis statement because, again, it's backed by evidence. All right, your turn. Come up with a thesis statement regarding the best activity to do in free time. Now, everyone's might be a little bit different, which is fine. Is everyone finished?
I have one.
Go ahead.
Reading is the best activity to do in your free time because you can learn new things.
Good. I like that. All right. Now this is our tier that we're going to come up. Now, as you approach later education, you're going to realize that you'll be writing a lot of papers. So whenever you're stuck on a thesis and you don't know what a thesis is, just remember that opinion is not fact, but that is okay. My thesis will drive my argument anyway. Now let's repeat that a couple times. Opinion is not fact, but that is okay. My thesis will drive my argument anyway. One more time. Opinion is not fact, but that is okay. My thesis will drive my argument